Hey nerds, so I decided to make a supercut of my Final Fantasy Commander and main set fun ranking so they're in one video. I'm going to leave the originals up since there's interaction and stuff on it, and maybe you're looking for just one or set of commanders and not the others. So without further ado, enjoy. First up is Aerith the Last Ancient. I think it's a cool combination for life gain and reanimation, but it isn't anything that's super inspiring, so I'm going to put them, I think, solidly in the fun tier. So the next up is a partner pair. I'm probably going to say this wrong. It's Alacia and Alfund. I think it's a fine partner pair. I definitely think they're more fun in the 99 than like leading a deck, but I'll kind of leave that up to you. But we are going to put them as fun in the 99. Next up is Ardbert, Warrior of Darkness. So this is an Orzhov Legendary Matters commander, but with a focus on combat, and I think it has the potential to be a really fun deck. So I'm going to put them, I think, in the top end of fun for now. Next up is Auron, Venerated Guardian. It's a temporary removal spell on a creature. It's really good at removing tokens, but I'd be worried about removing cards with enters triggers, and you can't target your own thing. So for that, I think it goes right into the fun in the 99 category. Next up is Avalanche of Sector 7. If you have a lot of artifact decks at your table, this could definitely be a fun commander. Or you maybe build like a weird red group hug artifact deck. I'm between fun in the 99 and could be fun. I think I'm going to put them in the could be fun tier more than fun in the 99. I think there's probably some like interesting build with them. Next up is Bannon the Returner's Leader. So he makes an interesting artifact creature commander, and you can use wheels to fill up your graveyard, then cast a threat you've discarded. You still have to actually like pay for them. So I think I would rather play this in the 99. No, I think this could be a fun commander. I think there are enough interesting things to do in red and like wheels and stuff. Next up is Barret, Avalanche Leader. This is a little slow for an equipment deck, but it does make a ton of bodies. And I like that's in colors that aren't usually equipment decks, but you do have a lot of rule like modified commanders. I think this is solidly in the fun tier for me. Next up is Bugen Hagen, Wise Elder. Now this is easily fun in the 99. It's a mana dork that just draws a card on upkeep. It's not something I really want leading a deck, but I can definitely play this in like a legendaries deck or just like a big stompy deck in the 99. Next up is Kate Sith Fortune Teller. Now Kate provides an interesting source of card advantage and can buff a creature, but I think it'd be more fun in the 99 of like a Prosper Tomebound or Faldorn Dreadwolf Herald deck. So for that, I'm going to definitely put this in the fun in the 99. Next up is Celis Rune Knight. Now you can easily combo Celis with Persist creatures like Murderous Redcap, or just use a Walking Ballista. I would think I'd probably just want to build a pure combo pile deck with Celis, where you can actually shuffle in a bunch of different cards that combo with her, so you're not winning the same way every single time. This is easily in the wanna build category for me. Next up is Sid, Free Flyer Pilot. It's a pretty underwhelming equipment commander. It's probably fun in the 99, so I'll put it in fun in the 99. Next up is Cloud X Soldier. I love seeing an equipment commander who wants you to go wide, and it's great with all the equipment that makes bodies when they enter, like the new ones from Final Fantasy, for Mirrodin and Living Weapon. I think this is easily a fun top end of fun. I don't necessarily want to build it, but I think this would be like fun to play against for sure. Next is Cyan, Vengeful Samurai. I don't know what I'd want to do with this commander. Seems like a Voltron commander, but I feel like it'll take too many steps to really make it work, or too much like setup. So it probably goes into the 99, like here, I think. Next up is Edgar, Master Machinist. It could be cool to recast like an Icar Wellspring or a Mycosynth Wellspring for value, but being limited to once per hour turn is, I think, too high of a restriction. I'm happy to be proven wrong on this, but I'm between fun in the 99 and could be fun. I think I put them in could be fun. I think there's a possibility that there's some way to get around that restriction by either blinking them to like recast more artifacts that I'm not thinking about right now. Elena, Turk Recruiter. It's a really great support piece for an artifact or legendary matters or even like sagas, but I don't really care about it as like a commander. I think it's probably really good in the 99 and seems like more fun there where you can blink it. So it's going to go into fun in the 99. Next up is Emmett Shelk of the Third Seat. So this is an interesting Dimir spell commander that wants you to mill yourself and then burn your opponents. And I'm sure there's some great hidden gems for this commander. And I just played like in Dimir Spellslinger deck, so maybe I'm a little biased, but this is easily in the wanna build category for me. Next up is Einstein Varlinu. Now I'd definitely be interested in building Orzhov dragons, because we have a ton of new like Orzhov dragons from Tarkir, and this is probably a really good home for them. Honestly, this is like a fun commander. I don't know if I necessarily want to build them, but they seem like they could be really fun. Next up is Fandel Telofori Aciant. I'm saying that so wrong. Just let me know how wrong I am in the comments. I love it's a mono black Spellslinger commander. It's a really unexplored color for Spellslingers, and I'm glad it specifies non-token creatures so it doesn't get hosed by token decks. This is easily like a wanna build commander for me. Yeah, I'll put it like the bottom end of wanna build. Next up is Tai Scion Reborn. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, even though I've definitely played these games. Now, this could be a really fun like Esper Super Friends or Artifact or Spellslinger commander, and I'm sure there are going to be builds that are very counterspell dense, and that seems probably a little less fun in my opinion, but I'm going to put them in the could be fun category for sure. Next up is Gata and Luzu. This is a not interesting commander for me. I'm not really interested in having a one-off protection spell in the command zone. I don't necessarily want to put it in not fun because I feel like that's really restricted for like vanilla creatures or really abhorrent play patterns. So I'm going to put it in the tail end of fun in the 99 because I could see getting someone with this and that being fun, but not at the helm of its own deck. Next up is Guy Feral Youth. Now, they want you to fill your graveyard to burn out the table, and that seems like an incredibly fun commander that can get even better with keywords like lifelink or infect, and it's pretty easy to fill your, and I like that it's next up is Gayu Feral Youth. Now this commander wants you to fill your graveyard and then exile cards one at a time to burn out the table. It does seem incredibly powerful, and I like that it's a pretty unique strategy for red, and because they're the one dealing damage, lifelink and infect work great. Honestly, this is an easy wanna build commander. I have Dimir and Stultide decks that do something similar, but having this in red seems like just a new take on it. Seems really cool. Next up is General Leo Christoph. This could be a good Blink commander, but 5 mana seems a little steep for this effect, but I'd still be willing to give them a shot. It's mostly because I want to reanimate a Martyr of Sands. So into fun you go. Next up is Gogo Mysterious Mime. Now this seems like a really fun commander with powerful attack triggers from cards like Atali Primal Storm and Godo Bandit Warlord. Getting free spells or additional combat steps should help you close out the game. I think this is easily a wanna build commander for me. Maybe closer to the back end. Nah, I'm gonna put it, this is close between, this wanna build tier is like all honestly pretty close. And I'm surprised how many red-based commanders I'm really liking from this set. Next up is Heidegger Shinra Executive. It's a pretty underwhelming soldier commander. Creature decks tend to go wide, so I don't know how often that last ability will actually trigger. It's probably fine in the 99 with like a soldier's deck, but nothing too fancy. Next up is Herm's Overseer of Ellipse. So this is almost a strictly better Murmuring Mystic in the command zone, which seems fun. I know it's not strictly better, which so I said almost. If it could be I just like birds, but at the helm, but this can be at the helm of a ton of different decks, and it slots really easily into the 99. This, I think, is easily a fun tier commander for me. Next up is Hildebrand Materville. Now, this commander reminds me of Mosswood Dread Knight from Standard, and when I first saw it, I thought it was Standard legal, and I got really hyped until I realized it's simply not. It has a cute way to get around commander attacks, has a solid enough effect, and I would definitely be interested in building this with a Lurrus of the Dream Den companion deck. Also, I'm sure there's some infinite combo where you sacrifice this, cast its instant side, and do some weird loop. This is easily top of fun, arguably in want to build, but there's another Lurrus companion deck that I think I'm more interested in trying, but we'll see when we get to the end. Next up is Harzvagald of the First Brood. I think I nailed that pronunciation. I'd love to play this in a dragon deck, and there might be some combat focused blue deck that I'm missing. I'm gonna put this in the could be fun tier. I have a feeling there's something I'm missing with this commander, and I definitely want to see what other people do with them. Next up is Interceptor Shadow's Hound. It seems great in an Ezio deck with like 5-color assassins. Not really interested in this as its standalone commander. This is one that I'm tempted to put into not fun, but again, I think it's not like inherently unfun. Like it's not has a negative play pattern. It's just kind of probably good in like an assassin deck. So it's gonna be fun in the 99. Next up is Kefka Dancing Mad. Big Rakdos commanders. This is a big Rakdos commander that has a powerful effect, and it scales with the power of the table, which I love. I love when you can play commanders like this that if your opponents are playing precons, while this effect is still very good, obviously, free cards are great. If your opponents are playing great cards, you get great cards. If they're playing weaker cards, you get weak cards. So for that reason, I think it definitely belongs in fun. Next up is Kamari Valiant Guardian. So this is another commander button Simic that scales with the power of the table. And I also kind of want to make a non-legendary token deck around this where you can make copies of this that aren't legendary. so I can get multiple copies of other people's legendary creatures, since the copies of those creatures I don't think will be legendary. I actually don't know. I don't think they will be because the card itself isn't legendary, but I don't know if it would work like that. Let me know in the comments. But again, this is another fun commander for sure. Next up is Krill Baldsion. Nailed it. It's an underwhelming effect that only triggers once each turn. It can go hard with Martyr of the Sands, but again, I think this is definitely a solid 99 commander, or a card that's like more fun in the 99 than a commander. Lock Treasure Hunters next. I want to play this with Heartless Summonings. Heartless Summoning reduces the cost of creatures you cast by 2, but it gives your creatures -1/-1. So it's an asymmetrical board nerf that makes this pretty much unblockable. You still have to pay to cast spells, but if you hit any land cards, you get treasures, and players have to mill, which is interesting instead of being exiled. But I think it works like Garuda, where even if they mill and a card goes into exile, if you like Leyline out, you still get to cast it or play it because it's just cards from among the ones that were milled. This is easily, I think, in wanna build category for me. Next up is Lord Joskel Gaudo. Nailed it. If you can find a way to put a counter on this card each turn, you can get a lot of clues, and cracking clues seems fun. I'm gonna put this in the tail end of fun. Mostly because I just personally really like clues. Next up is Lulu Stern Guardian. Now, notably, it doesn't stop the attack of the creature, but it stops at least one creature from attacking again if it doesn't have vigilance. But I'd rather put her in like a Hilda of the Icy Crown or an Infect deck where you can really benefit from that proliferate and put more stun counters. I don't think I'd want this as my own commander. We're gonna put her, I think, like here. Yeah, we'll put her like there. Next up is Lice Hexed. This is an underwhelming commander that's just cost reduction in the command zone. You might be able to build a fun combat trick deck, but I think there are just so many better options for it than this. Again, probably solid in the 99, which is like a big theme with this set, which I think is okay. Like, I think if, at least for the commander decks, if there are a ton of cards that just slot into the 99 of existing decks, I think that's fine. Next up is Meister Seymour. So I want a copy of this for my Cleopatra deck, but I think it also makes I think it also makes a great elf ball commander with a focus on counters. It is a elf, which is great. The monstrosity can get really huge if you're storming off with a whole bunch of elves, because it's creatures you control, not like non-token creatures. So if you can go wide with elf tokens, put a bunch of counters on this, and then go to combat and then put a bunch of counters on another creature, I think it could be really good. I'm gonna put this in fun. I like having unique elf ball decks that aren't always like the same commander. Next up is Mog Mogul Warrior. Listen, this is honestly, I think, my favorite card from the precons. It feels like the perfect middle ground for a group hug commander that lets people actually play the game of commander while not slingshotting people generally into like such a huge advantage. Now, obviously people can choose not to do this, so you only get one like Moogle or only like one counter, and that's fine if people don't want to do that. I still think this is like a really cool card, and I'm actually really excited to build them. Next up is Oka Traveling Merchant. I'm sure there's some infinite combo with this somewhere, but this is definitely a 99 card if I've ever seen one. Next up is Papalomo Totolomo. I think I'm saying that right. This is another great Lurrus companion deck. If you do this, make sure to add Tainted Strike so you can cheese out the table. Again, this is another, it's borderline wanna build, but I'm definitely gonna put this in like the top of fun. I think it makes a great Lurrus companion deck. Next up is Professor Hojo. This is a like fixed Nadu in mono green, and notably this does reduce the cost of abilities to less than 1, so they can be 0. It is more restrictive, but I think there's probably some way to build around this that seems really cool. I'm gonna put this in fun. Next up is Red 13, Proud Warrior. Now, this is a straightforward modified commander. I think it would probably be more fun in the 99, but it also has good keywords. So if you like Smashing Faces, you'll like this. I'm gonna put this actually in fun though. I think I put this in fun. I'll put this in the tail end of fun, mostly because big keywords are really cool. Next up is Riku Resourceful Guardian. It's another great role player in counters decks. It can also be used as a political tool to move detrimental counters from your opponent's creatures, but I think this is just more fun in the 99. Next up is Sabin Master Monk. There's nothing really appealing about this as a commander to me personally. I don't want to put it in not fun, but this is easily the least fun commander, I think, of the commander decks. Next up is Sephiroth Fallen Hero. So at the time of recording, there aren't any additional payoff for cell counters aside from triggering modified or activating modified. That being said, turning random cheap creatures into big beaters definitely seems fun, so I'm gonna definitely put them right up there. Next up is Setzer Wandering Gambler. Now, I love that this triggers whenever you win a coin flip, so obviously the rest of its abilities are good if you can, like, attack with vehicles, but you can also just play coin flip cards, and there's like 51. Most of them are in like mono red, so I'm not sure how good it would actually be. However, I think it could be really fun. Kind of sad Mana Crypt is banned because Mana Crypt seems like it'd actually be funny just for like the coin flipping aspect in this deck. Next up is Shadow Mysterious Assassin. I don't like it when commanders need to deal combat damage to trigger, like they have to deal it, not like other cards. This effect is pretty good, but I think it'd be more fun in the 99 of like an Assassin's deck. Next up is Shalinda Yevon Acolyte. It's like a generic +1/+1 counter commander. There's nothing really inspiring about this. Probably great in the 99, but I don't know. It's like fine. Next up is Siegfried Famed Swordsman. Again, this seems really great in like a Mimeoplasm deck, but I wouldn't want this to Helma deck personally. I'm gonna put this in fun in the 99. I'll put it like here, I think. Next up is Sin Unending Cataclysm. So this seems really fun in the 99 of like a sea creature deck. And I could see this as a commander if you have a lot of +1/+1 counters or like counter decks in your play group. I'm going to put this in the top end of fun in the 99. Actually, I'm going to put this at the bottom end of could be fun. I think there's might be some like group huggy deck that you can like distribute counters to get benefit and then just take them all away with this. Strago and Realm is next. So it's a Chaos Wand on a stick that scales with a table. I probably won't build them myself, but I'm excited to see them across from me on the table. This is easily a fun commander. Next up is Tataru Taru. So it's a fixed Smothering Tithe that you can play from the command zone. That's about it for me. It's probably really good in the 99. And it's probably more fun there. I'll put it like here. Also, I like that they made the Lalafell's dwarfs. So there isn't this like unique creature type 2 Final Fantasy that we can't interact with outside of Final Fantasy decks. I think they probably heard the feedback from like the Warhammer decks and stuff. So I'm glad they did that. Obviously, they didn't do it with all creatures, but the ones that they could, I'm glad they did. Next up is Terra, Herald of Hope. It feels like a lot of setup for a mediocre payoff, and I'm sure people will love the flavor of this commander, and I know it's at the helm of the precon, but it honestly feels like a better 99 commander than a actual base commander. That being said, I'll put it at the top of fun in the 99. Next is Threnched Waters. This is fine. Seems solid in the Legendary Matters deck, but not an interesting commander. Put it like up here, I guess. Next up is the Warring Triad. It's a colorless mana dork that has keywords and mills. Cool. Next up is Titus, Yuna's Guardian. So Final Fantasy X was my first game. I have to go back. I need to actually replay it. So I want to love this card, and this is definitely fun for me, but moving anything aside from like +1/+1 counters might be a pain to track in paper. But I like drawing cards and proliferating, so I'm going to put this in the tail end of fun, with the understanding that I'm a little biased. Next up is Tifa, Martial Artist. Extra combats if you have big creatures, which is great, and attacking more than once is almost always fun. Easily, solidly in the fun tier for me. Next up is Trommel, Seymour's Butler. So another unique Elf Ball option. You can use it as a combo payoff in an artifact deck, using like a Mirror Retriever combo with Walking Ballista, where you can just play a Walking Ballista with one counter, proliferate infinite number of times. At that point, you might have infinite mana anyways from like Ashnod's Altar, but if you don't, I think this is some way to do that. For that, it's gonna go into the fun tier. I'll put it like there. Next up, Uzumaro, Raging Yeti. I think this could be a really fun extra combat commander. There is the possibility you deck yourself because you have to pick one at random, but that's fine. I kind of want to embrace the random. And even if you don't get infinite combats, getting just enough extra combats, giving your creatures +3 and trample is really powerful. And then Umaro dealing 5 damage to any target again is real great, especially if you can give it lifelink or death touch or, again, infect. This is a fun commander for me. Next up is Uranger Augural Roulette. Sure, that sounds correct. This seems like Azorius has a ton of ways to tap and untap creatures, so it should be trivial to get multiple activations of this. I have a feeling people might play this as like a Thoracle combo deck, because you can just exile your library and then cast a Thoracle from the cards exiled. I'm going to put this in could be fun. If you don't build the deck that way, it's probably great. If you build the deck that way, I'm just not that interested in playing against it generally, not all the time, of course. Next up is Vincent Vengeful Atoner, one of the less exciting combat-focused commanders. I'd happily play this in the 99, but not really interested in having it helmet deck. Next up is Waka Devoted Guardian. So it's a +1/+1 counter commander that needs to deal damage, combat damage to get any benefit, and only removes artifacts. Great role player and removal piece. Not so much fun as a commander, which I'm fine with. Next up is Yushital Knights Blessed. I love the idea of like an Esper burn deck, but there's also the possibility of people just building some artifact storm deck. And so I'm going to put her in could be fun. There's the possibility of people building just degenerate decks with her that aren't great to play against, but you know, if you build an interesting deck, I'm so excited to see it. Next up is Yuffie Materia Hunter. Can't use a ninjutsu ability from the command zone since it isn't commander ninjutsu, and that'd be the biggest appeal for this as a commander. Otherwise, you actually have to like play it or put it into your hand. It's way too much work. Fun in the 99 for sure. And finally, we have Yuna Grand Summoner. It's a mana dork in Bant. It gives your creatures counters. Seems like a solid precon commander. There are more interesting counter commanders, but my inner Timmy I think would actually enjoy having a mana dork that also buffs my creatures. And notably, you don't have to use that mana to cast the creatures. It's just you tap it, and then whenever you cast a creature, you put counters on it. So I'm sure there's going to be some infinite where you keep tapping, untapping this, adding mana, stacking that delayed trigger, or I don't know if it's a replacement effect, and then just playing one big creature that has a bunch of counters on it. I'm like Walking Ballista, but you just have infinite mana at that point, so it's like, who cares? But I mean, if you use that mana to untap her and then tap her again, you can cast one giant creature. Anyways, I'm yapping. This is a fun commander for me. And that wraps up my Final Fantasy Commander Precon Fun ranking. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. What commanders are you excited to build? And don't worry, I'll be covering the main set next. So yeah, I will see you nerds in the next one. First up is Adalbert Steiner. Just straightforward equipment matters commander. Nothing too exciting about them. They're going to go right into the fun in the 99 category for sure. Next up is Aerith Gainsborough. So it's a new life gain commander in white that looks incredibly fun. White has a bunch of cheap ways to reanimate her, allowing you to grow your board for really cheap. I think I'm going to put this in the wanna build tier for me. I love life gain commanders. I love having Soul Sister decks. They're just very Timmy and not something I get to do in 60 card Magic, so I love exploring that space in Commander. Next up is Ambrosia Whiteheart. Solid in the 99 of a bird deck, but as a commander, I think it's underwhelming. It's going to go into the fun in the 99 category. Next up is Ash, Princess of Dalmasca. Ash requires a lot of work to just maybe draw an artifact. I could see her being an equipment commander, but I think she'll be more fun in the 99 of a deck. Next up is Beatrix, Loyal General. Beatrix is a great role player in an equipment deck, but I also see her as a go-wide equipment deck that swings out with a single suited up token each turn. I think this will actually be a fun commander. Next up is Cloud Midgar Mercenary. It's a Stoneforge Mystic in the command zone, which is great, and his second ability is very powerful and very fun, easily in the wanna build tier for me. Next up is Dion Bahamut's Dominant, and the backside of the card, Bahamut, Warden of Light. I think this is a great knight support piece. That second ability to flip it is a little too expensive, I think, to have it be worth as like a commander, but I will definitely want to slot this into like a knight's deck. I'm gonna put it, I think, up the top end of fun in the 99. I could be convinced it's fun. Like maybe it could be fun, but right now it's just definitely going to slot in the 99. Next up is Gara Tia. It's a low-powered aristocrats or eggs commander, or great in the 99 of an archer or artifact deck. Art's really cool. Unfortunately, it is going to go fun in the 99 for me. Next up is Minwu White Mage. It's an easy to understand cleric commander. It isn't exactly my cup of tea. I mean, I just said I love life gain decks, but I think this is a little too straightforward. However, I know people will love this, and I'm going to definitely put this in the fun tier. Next up is Roa Resolute White Mage. It's a solid role player in a mini White Mage deck for sure, and in any +1/+1 counters deck or life gain deck. Honestly, just in a lot of decks, I think it's solid. I had this in fun in the 99 originally, but I might put them in the could be fun. I'm going to put in the top end of fun in the 99. It's really close for me. I just wish there was a little bit more going on here. Next up is Snow Villiers. It's a big beat stick that dies to commander, and it's probably more fun in the 99 than as a commander. If we had black or red in this, it would be a cool like fling commander, but we're in mono white, and I don't know if white has any effects that can like fling a creature like Chandra's Ignition or Essence Extraction. So I'm going to put it in fun in the 99 with the caveat that if I'm wrong about that, there could be a cool deck built around it. Next up is Stiltskin Mogul Merchant. You can give opponents means cards to ruin their evening, or just play a weird group hug deck. I'm going to put this in the could be fun tier. I'm sure there'll be some like interesting builds with it. I think it's probably going to be a little bit more fun than 99, but I'm open to having a fun deck with them. Next up is Vanat, Heart of Hydaelyn, and then Hydaelyn the Mother Crystal. It's a Legendary Matters commander in white, which is great, and I like that their flip ability is also removal, and the back is pretty powerful. For me, I think this goes right into the fun tier. Probably like closer to the tail end, but it's solidly in the fun tier. Next up is Zach Fair, a solid role player in the 99 of a Hunters or Human deck. I'm not seeing the appeal of running this as a commander though. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm definitely going to put this in the fun in the 99, probably closer to the tail end. Next is Edgar, King of Figaro. It's a powerful card draw effect if you wanted to build mono blue artifacts or like an artifact blink deck, and it feels right at home in a Krark the Thumbless deck. For me, this is easily a fun deck, or fun commander, I should say. Next up is Gogo, Master of Mimicry. Now, this is one of those commanders that will have some weird jank builds that copy obscure effects, or it will be one of the most degenerate combo decks that you've ever seen. I'm going to put it in the top end of could be fun. There's a lot of combo potential with it, and there's also a lot of just jank shenanigans you can do. Next up is Jill, Shiva's Dominant, and Shiva, Warden of Ice. I think it's a great role player in a blink deck, and I'm sure it has some combo. The backside does look really good for ninjas or something, but this is definitely a 99 card. So I'm going to put it right, I think like here. Next is Matoya, Archon Elder. This is an incredibly powerful Scry and Surveil commander that leaves you open to build a ton of decks. It will be better in decks with Surveil lands, so not mono blue. However, it can definitely stand on its own. And I'm going to put this in the could be fun tier. Drawing cards is always fun, but I don't know how the deck's going to win aside from like combos or like Psychosis Crawler, so that might not be as fun if it's like super linear, but I'm open to being proven wrong on this. Next is Quintus Trepe. So it's a slightly worse Snapcaster Mage in the command zone. Well, I don't even think worse. You don't have Flash, however, you can target spells in your opponent's graveyard. So that's really good. I think this is a could be fun commander. I don't quite know. It'll definitely be good in the 99 and like fun. Next up is Ultimisa, Temporal Threat. Having a combat-focused blue commander is awesome, and it fits great in the 99 of a ninja or a tap deck. This could definitely be a fun commander. I'm going to put them, I think, at the top end of could be fun just because I like the idea of having a mono blue like ninjas. Next is Ultros, Obnoxious Octopus. It's just a little guy. Having your opponent's creatures is powerful, and you can get a big octopus, but it's pretty underwhelming as a commander. So I'm going to put it in fun in the 99. Next up is Yoshital Rawl. Now, this card is going to be a rules nightmare in paper for some players, especially like newer players, or if you're new to Commander at least. But that won't stop people from jamming her and having a great time. Easily goes into the fun tier. I'm not interested in building them personally, but I think they are a fun commander. Next up is Arden the Usurper. So if you're looking for a mono-black demon commander that is also graveyard hate and has a reanimation effect, this is a solid pick. It is 8 mana, but if you also put it in like a Crick Son of Yawgmoth deck, it's only 5 generic, which isn't as bad. I wish it wasn't a human so I could put it into my Mikaeus deck that has the rule of no humans. This is a fun commander. I like the idea of having like a mono black demon commander. Yeah, seems pretty sweet. Next up is Cecil Dark Knight. Technically, this is an Orzhov commander, not mono black, but I'm going to just put it here with the mono black commanders. Now, Cecil does make a cool token commander, and notably, they don't have to deal combat damage in order to flip them, and their backside is really good in a tokens deck, or just if you can flip it, it's just a 4/4 lifelink. Now, you do have to lose a lot of life in commander, 20 instead of just 10 for like regular, so that's not as hard to do. But you also have to deal damage in order to trigger it. It needs to deal damage so it sees itself trigger. I think this card, I'm going to put this in the could be fun tier. I bet there's a build with it that I'm not thinking about that actually is like really neat. I just can't think of one right now. And it is Orzhov, so you have access to black and white because the backside's white. Next up is Fang Fearless Ice. I know I'm saying that wrong. So I'm excited to have another piece for my graveyard shuffle deck, but the once per turn clause and having meld means it's just going to go into the 99. We'll go over the meld piece when we get to it. Hopefully the meld actually works well as a commander this time around, unlike other times we've seen meld. But for this, definitely in the 99. Next up is Goss von Balsier. Great in 5-color humans or in a blink deck. Not sure I'm interested in this as a commander. I'm going to just put this in the fun in the 99 tier. Next up is Jekt, Reluctant Guardian, and its backside Vraska's Final Aeon. Now, I think this is a commander that's definitely meant for the 99, or for 60 card magic, or like, maybe a warrior deck. Their Saga side is definitely powerful, but it isn't something I enjoy doing in Commander personally, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in the fun in the 99 tier. Next up is Kane Traitorous Dragon. I'm not a fan when commanders have to deal combat damage to players, but in this case, I do love the group hug aspect of it, so that's pretty cool. I'm going to put this in the could be fun tier at the tail end, I think. It's definitely interesting, and also that art is really pretty. Next is Reno and Rude. Now, there are a lot of hoops to jump through just to steal someone's card. I'd try it in an Assassin's deck, but not as a commander. Into the fun in the 99 tier it goes. Next is Sephiroth, Fabled Soldier, and then the backside is Sephiroth, One-Winged Angel. Now, Sephiroth is an incredibly powerful Blood Artist effect that we have access to from the command zone, and then when it flips, you get an emblem that is a Blood Artist effect, which is actually insane, and getting Sephiroth to flip will be trivial in the right deck, or like most decks. Honestly, I think this is easily, it goes into the could be fun tier. I think tuned versions of this deck you'll want to be in the mood to play against, at least I will be. Seeing it in the 99 though will usually be really cool. It is just an incredibly powerful card. I know it's a fan favorite, and I'm sure I'll be playing against this. If you want to play it against me, if you see me at MagicCon or something, absolutely. I'm excited to see this. Next up is Seymour Flux. So it's a Phyrexian arena in the command zone, which is neat. You don't see much appeal to them aside from being card advantage you'll always have access to. I'm going to put them in the could be fun tier. Again, maybe there's something I'm missing, but drawing cards is good, and it's also a May trigger, so you don't have to pay the life, unlike Phyrexian Arena. Next up is Vincent Valentine, and then the back sign is Galleon Beast. Vincent has a fun effect that lets you smash face and doesn't require any setup to just flip him over. And the backside has some really cool combo potential because it comes back face up and then you can attack again. Honestly, I think I'm going to put this commander right in the fun tier. I think that backside has some really interesting combo potential. Next up is Xenos Yegalvis, and then the backside is Shinryu Transcendent Rival. I was tempted to put this commander in the not fun, but it's an alternate win condition, so it's not like someone just loses the game and then you have someone else lose the game. You just win on the spot, which is fine. It requires setup. Having this come out of the 99 is more interesting in my opinion, but if you have this in front of me as a commander, that's fine. So I'm gonna definitely put this into the could be fun tier. Next up is Zordrak, Umbral God. This is definitely a big guy that costs a ton of black mana. I could see this in a mono black gods deck or in my Mikacian Hollow deck. Definitely worth playing in the 99. I don't think I'd play this as a commander, so it goes into the fun in the 99. Put it like up here, just because I like the mana cost on it. It's cool. Next up is Barrett Wallace. Now, I've been looking for a mono red equipment commander, and Barrett is definitely in the contending. They're definitely like a contender. I enjoy seeing this go wide equipment commander instead of the usual Voltron strategies. I think it's more resilient to edict effects and spot removal, so I love having a commander that supports that. This is going to go into the fun tier for me. Next is Clive, Ifrit's Dominant, and then the backside is Ifrit, Warden of the Inferno. Now, Clive looks like a fun card advantage piece in a mono red or demon deck, but I want more from a commander, and I'm also a little bummed that it doesn't have any keywords on the backside, but I guess it's still just like a Videla 9/9, which is pretty good, and its effect getting 4 red mana is really good. Oh, yeah, and they're going to go right into the fun in the 99 for me. I guess I didn't say that. Next up is Furion, Wild Rose Warrior. It's a unique commander that works great with equipment that make tokens when they enter. So either for Mirrodin, Living Weapon, Job Class. Well, Living Weapon's actually not great because it makes a germ and then the germ just dies, but for Mirrodin, Job Class, Job Select. Also gives me a home for Sundial of the Infinite if I want to keep some of those token equipment around, and it isn't like an Obeka deck. Also, don't play legendary equipment with these, or with this commander, because you will just have to sacrifice one and you'll sacrifice the token. Also, any equipment that have powerful ETBs like Chainsaw from Duskmourn is really powerful here. I think I'm going to put them, honestly, in the wanna build tier. Next up is Freya Crescent. It's a 1-mana mana dork that slots perfectly into equipment decks. There is likely enough equipment to build a creatureless equip deck, actually, and Freya would make a great commander for that. I'm going to put this in the could be fun tier. I think with the right build, you could actually build an interesting like 1-mana equipment deck with them. Next up is Gilgamesh, Master at Arms. So between this and Godo Bandit Warlord, I think we could build mono red samurais. There would still need to be some changelings in the deck, but I'm definitely into this, and it's going into wanna build. I actually just put a deck together for them as I was working on this video, so I'll probably have a deck tech on them in the future. Next up is Lighting Security Sergeant. It's a great card advantage engine in either a human or soldier's deck. I think it's too fragile as a commander, and I don't like that it needs to deal combat damage to trigger. So I'm going to put this in the top end of like fun in the 99. but it is a really cool card, and I could definitely see it being a fun commander if I'm like missing something, or if it just plays better than how it reads. Next up is Prompto Argentum. Now, this isn't a once per turn restriction for their ability, and it doesn't make tapped treasures. This will be a fun mono red Spellslinger commander, or maybe a degenerate combo deck. For that, I'm gonna go ahead and put this in the could be fun tier. I'm sure there's some combo that I'm missing with maybe like a buyback spell where you get treasures and you have enough things that like tap your treasures for extra mana. There's going to be something that I'm missing here. Next up is Queen Brawny. Now, I love that this is repeatable and it doesn't require combat damage to trigger. It's an attack trigger. It's a shame that mono red doesn't have a ton of ways to make copies of creatures that last for more than a single turn. I think with that, this would be even better, but it is definitely still a fun commander for me. I'm going to put it like right, I think towards the back end of fun, but it is still fun. Next up is Rabon, Bull of Amigo. Now, again, this can be either built as a go wide equipment or a traditional Voltron commander, and I can't wait to see Colossus Hammer attached to this. I'm definitely going to put them in the could be fun tier. Next up is Cypher Almsed. So it's a Dreadhorde Arcanist in the command zone. It doesn't have trample, but I would jam this to the 99 of a spell stack, just not as a commander. So fun in the 99 it goes. Put it like, I think, yeah, like right there. Next up is Van Street Thief. Now, you still need to pay mana to cast this value Exile, and you have to use the correct colors. So it would be great in a multicolor pirate or rogue deck, but I would still consider running this as a commander. I'm going to put this in could be fun. Next is Zeldin. So it's mono red lands. That second ability is, while maybe it looks like a downside if you're newer to Magic, you're like, why would I want to return lands? There are incredibly powerful utility lands like Hideaway lands or some of the new towns or Spine Rock Knoll, which is one of the Hideaway lands that work great with this because once you get the effect of the Hideaway, you can just bounce it back to your hand, play it again, and then get the Hideaway effect again. This is easily wanna build. It's weird how many like mono-colored commanders are so interesting. Next up is Bartz and Boko. Now, I had a Bant Bird deck from like a decade ago, and I wish I had kept it because Bartz would have slotted perfectly into the deck. There aren't enough birds in mono green for this to be a commander yet, I don't think. And its effect is a little underwhelming to have a mono green bird commander, but this is obviously going to be really fun in the 99 of a bird commander deck. Next is Diamond Weapon. This is a big boy that doesn't do much. No trample, just reach. I could see this being having trouble speaking. I could see this being added into like an aura deck because it does have reach. It's an 8/8. It prevents all combat damage, so it holds auras really well. And if you can just give it trample and some other keywords, it will be really powerful. And if you have auras or anything in your graveyard, it makes it cheaper to cast. I'm going to definitely put this in the fun in the 99 tier for me. Next is Quina Hui Gourmet, something like that. Now, I do love blue mages, and I also love frogs in Magic. So the second I saw this commander spoiled, I knew I had to build like a mono green food and frog deck. There's enough food creation that it will just, I think, work. And this effect is pretty fun. Yeah, this is going to go and want to build for me. Next up is Saza Katzroy. There are a lot of things going on with this commander. It could be a fun +1/+1 counter commander, but I think I would rather put it in the 99 of a deck. But because there is the possibility of like a interesting deck with it, I'm going to put it in the tail end of could be fun. Because it's not just like a one-off effect. This still have like a static that does something. Next up is Tifa Lockhart. Now this works great with combat tricks and fetch lands. The biggest issue is that I think you're only going to knock one player out at a time with Tifa before you swiftly get removed from the game. And because of that, I think I have to put them in fun in the 99. In 60 card Magic, I'm really excited for this card though. Next up is Torgal, a Flying Hound. Now I enjoy commanders that like focus on 2 or more creature types like this, where if you have one of like one type, it does something else for another type. It works great as a mana dork in a human deck that also just puts like a +1/+1 counter on it. Honestly, I think this could be fun if you have like the right build of like humans and wolves. There are plenty of mono green humans, so it'd be finding the right like wolves and dogs to add. So next is Vanel Cheerful Ice. So this is the other meld card. It is technically Golgari, but thankfully you can play Fang in a Vanel deck, and the meld creature is powerful. I guess I'll have it on screen here. I can just edit and post. It is a powerful effect. I don't know if it's powerful enough to want to build it as a commander, but I'm going to put it in could be fun. I originally had it in fun in the 99, but melding is usually pretty fun. So I think I'm going to put it in could be fun. Next up is Absolute Virtue. It's a powerful 8-mana commander that I will be holding a board wipe for if I see it in the command zone across from me. It's also a reanimation target, but I don't think it does enough for me to really want to play it as a commander, personally. I'm going to put this in fun in the 99. Next is Sid Timeless Artificer. Now, this is the first commander we have that allows any number of them. Without Mirror Box, though, Sid is a pretty underwhelming commander. I'm going to put them as fun in the 99. I don't think they're offering enough for me to really want to build them. Next is Hope Esthym. Now, this commander will end up being some combo deck that like one-shots the table, I'm sure. And if not, it'll just fuel graveyard decks to the table. This is probably one of the few, if not the only commander that I'm going to be putting in not fun. I love life gain decks, but I don't love effects like this that are not strong enough if you don't break them, but when you break them are just kind of a linear. Again, that's just me personally. I don't mind playing against Mill, but I'm not going to like enjoy seeing this across from me more often than not. Next is Titus Blitzball Star. It gets big with artifacts, but it really lacks keywords. It's pretty underwhelming, but I could definitely see this in the 99 of an equipment or an artifact deck, or maybe even like in Pauper EDH. So I'm going to put it, I think, like down here. Next is Emmett Selch Unsundered, and then the backside of it is Hade Sorcerer of Eld. So this backside is a Yogg's Will in the command zone. It is powerful because Yogg's Will can be a combo piece, but I also don't mind playing a value Yogg, and it is only during your turn. So I think I'm going to put Emmett in the could be fun tier. It's not fun, but I think Yogg Wills is just like a fun card if you're not comboing off with it. Next up is Golbez Crystal Collector. So the most damage you can deal with that second ability is 13, but it is an artifact deck, so you can also just make non-legendary token copies of Golbez. I think this commander could be fun if built correctly. Also, it's a 2-mana 1/4, which is just like good stats and like good card selection. Next up is Locke Cole. It's a great role player in a rogues deck. That's all I really have to say on the matter. Next up is Sephiroth Planet's Heir. It's an underwhelming board wipe from the command zone. It's gonna go fun in the 99. Next up is Ultimisa Time Sorceress. And then the backside is Ultimisa Omnipotent. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a way to break this commander, and as much as I love a deck building puzzle, I don't want extra turns from the command zone. You can't really go infinite with this, so it's like less egregious, but I'm still going to put this as more fun in the 99. I could see this being way more fun in like Pauper EDH though, so just keep that in mind. I'm not opposed to having this as a commander. I personally am not a huge fan of like one-shot extra turns. Next up is Zaned Dark Mage. It's a big boy that hits hard and has menace. I'm going to go ahead and put this in fun in the 99. Next up is Black Waltz number 3. Now, I don't know if I said this earlier, but I definitely want more Black Mages. And Black Waltz is a supercharged Black Mage that can quickly burn out the table. This is a cool commander. I like that it's uncommon. It is only of 2 toughness, so it dies to like coincidentally to certain effects, but it's a powerful effect. And it also is the one dealing damage. And I know I got a comment in my last one about Infect, but you can use Tainted Strike with this commander as a combo finisher. So something to keep in mind. This is definitely going to be a want to build commander for me. Next up is Garland, Knight of Cornelia, and the backside is Chaos the Endless. So I think I would rather keep Garland on the front for that sweet card advantage at 2 mana, and it makes a great budget Rakdos midrange commander just because of the card selection it provides. If you do end up flipping it, it's like pretty big. Maybe if you have enough mana and you want to board wipe and then like flip this in board wipe, I guess that actually doesn't make any sense. I don't know how often you'd actually want to flip this as a commander. So I'm gonna definitely put this in a could be fun tier. Next up is Kaju Genome Sorcerer, and then the back is Trance Kaju Fate Defied. Is it weird that I don't want this thing to transform so I can keep getting Black Mages? Now, I can see this as a fun commander or in the 99 of a Wizards deck. That back effect is really powerful. I'm going to put this in fun, though. I think this is a fun commander. Next up is Balathur and Fron. It's a Gruul vehicle commander, which is unique, but vehicles I don't think are that great in commander, and you have to pay 3 mana for an extra combat, and I think you can only do it once each turn, but I'm going to put them in could be fun. It's a unique enough effect that there might be a build out there, or something I'm missing, that actually does make them a fun commander. Next up is Gladiolus Amicita. Now, this is a perfect card for my Colossal Dreadmod deck, which is all 6 mana 6/6 creatures. Otherwise, I'm not interested in a commander that will just grab like Field of the Dead or Gaia's Cradle. It has an okay landfall effect, but it is only target creature. I'm going to put this in fun in the 99. Next up is Rita, Summoner of Mist. Now, Gruul Saga was not on my bingo card, and this landfall ability is great, and there are plenty of ways to remove the finality counter from sagas, especially in Gruul with cards like Nesting Ground. I think Nesting Ground works. I think it's permanent. Maybe it's creature. Anyways, this is a fun commander. Possibly want to build. Definitely fun. So next up is Terra Magical Adept. So this is, and then the backside, which is Esper Terra. So this is actually a 5-color commander because if you see on the rules text on the back there, it makes 5 colors of mana. It is a 5-color Saga commander that I like way more than Tom Bombadil. It also just works as like a 5-color enchantment commander, but I want to take as much advantage of those first 3 chapters as possible. And I'm sure there's some way to go infinite with this if you give it haste and flip it over and keep flipping it back and forth. But I'm going to go ahead and put this in Wanna build. I think like I said, it's just a more interesting Tom Bombadil, so that's why I really like it. Next up is Garnet, Princess of Alexandria. It's a lower power Saga commander that is a unique commander and works great in the 99. And I love the minigame of deciding when to remove lore counters from sagas. And I like that it's an attack trigger, not a combat damage trigger. So even if you don't connect, you still can grow this, and it also is just great with Maze of Ith. I'm going to put this in fun. Next up is Rhino Hartley. No keywords on this or the token. I think it's like a mediocre token commander that's outclassed, and it doesn't seem all that fun. I'm going to put it in fun in the 99. It's not fun, but I don't think it's like a great commander. Next is Sarah Farin, and the backside is Crystallized Sarah. So it's a legendary creature anthem that has a pretty simple flip requirement, and the second ability is straightforward. I see the appeal here. Honestly, I think I'd put this in the could be fun tier. It is super straightforward, but that's, I think, fine with some commanders. Next up is Yuna, Hope of Spira. Now, I'm glad her first ability that gives your enchantments Ward and Lifelink and Trample is only during your turn. Otherwise, I think that'd be way too powerful. Her second ability, though, will either ruin the game for everyone or just be a powerful value engine. So I'm going to definitely put them in a could be fun tier. Next up is Judge Magister Gabranth. It's a completely fine sacrifice payoff in the command zone. Not very impactful or interesting as a commander. It's going to go fun in the 99 for me. Next up is Rufus Shinra. It makes a token that can be sacrificed every turn if you attack. Again, not that like interested in it. I'm going to put this in the fun, the 99 tier. Next up is Squall, Seed Mercenary. Orzhov Unhit does sound like a fun deck idea, and I wish I didn't have to deal combat damage with Squall for his second ability. I understand why though. It might be a little too good if it was any creature. This does seem really cool. I'm going to put this in the could be fun tier. I'm not quite sure, but I think this could be a fun commander. Next is Shantoto, Tactician Magician. I know I had struggle reading that. It's a simple Is It commander that can draw you a bunch of cards. Drawing cards is fun, and then you can fling this at someone if it gets big enough. This is going to go in the could be fun tier for me. I've always struggled finding like a spell commander that I really enjoyed. This one is really straightforward for new players, and if you like Lalafels, I think this will be a good commander for you. Next up is Tella Great Sage. Now it's a token generator that also draws cards, which is great, and I can see the appeal of running them as a commander or slotting them into the 99 of an artifact or Super Friends deck, because you get those 1/1 heroes, which are great blockers in Super Friends decks, or just good creatures in artifact decks. I'm going to put this in the fun tier. I wish it made black mages, but that would probably be a little too powerful. Next up is the Emperor of Palamisa, and then the backside is the Lord Master of Hell, which is just a metal-ass name. Now, I think this is probably one of the strongest commanders in the set, and the next one I'm going to talk about is, I think, probably the strongest. Getting them to flip is not going to be difficult. Giving it haste and then filling their graveyard to one-shot the table should be pretty trivial in Is It. I'm going to put this in could be fun, just because I can see it being super linear or like pretty combo-centric. In Pauper EDH, this is definitely going to be really powerful. Next up is Vivi Ornator? Yeah, that sounds right. This is a crazy powerful Is It commander that will pop off. That first ability is also a mana ability, so you can interact with it on the stack. This will just be powerful. Yeah, it's just gonna be powerful. I'm gonna put this in the could be fun tier because I have a feeling that it's just gonna be like generically strong, no matter like how you build it for the most part. I might try to find one to put into my Super Friends deck. It might just be worth having as like a mana accelerant in Jeskai. Next up is Cloud of Darkness. Interesting removal for a Legendary Matters deck in Golgari. Not interested in it as a commander. Next is X-Death Void Warlock, and then Neo X-Death Dimension's End. So originally I was going to put this as fun in the 99, but then I realized that while its flippability is pretty straightforward, the backside, while it is only 3 toughness and it has trample, you could probably build it pretty similar to how you build Yargle and Multani, where you sacrifice it to like a Gerard Golgari Lichlord or an Essence Extraction or whatever it's called, and just kind of burn the table with it. So I'm going to put this in the could be fun tier. Next up is Genova Ancient Calamity. It's a mutant commander that can draw a bunch of cards. I love it when obscure creature types get a good commander, and there are actually quite a few mutants thanks to Fallout. This is going to go probably in the top end of fun for me. I think it is a really cool commander. Next up is Cloud Planet's Champion. So if you want to build an equipment commander, Cloud will be good. He attacks easily and just needs some trample to be a problem. This is a fun commander, no doubt. Next is Giat, King of the Dwarves. It's a dwarf and equipment commander that provides repeatable card selection. Great in the 99, or at the helm of a dwarf or equipment deck. Definitely going to be a fun commander. Next is Joshua Phoenix Dominant, and then the backside is Phoenix Warden of Fire. I think Joshua's too slow to be a dedicated commander, and I'd rather slot them into a Saga deck where I can get use of the last ability on their back to return other Saga creatures from my graveyard in play. Definitely a card meant for 60 card Magic. I'm going to put this as fun in the 99. Next is Lightning Army of One. You will quickly make an enemy if you hit someone with this, since it doubles all damage, not just from sources you control. If there's a problematic person at the table, you can definitely swing this in. I think this is going to be more fun in the 99 instead of as a commander, just because how telegraphed it is. I'm going to put it, honestly, this is like a really fun card in the 99. So I'll put it like up there. Next is Zidane Tantalus Thief. So you can build Boros Group Hug with this that ramps thanks to the treasures, but there's also the option of building an active treason deck that can scale with the power of the table. There are a ton of active treason effects, even some repeatable ones. So that's really cool. I'm going to put this in could be fun. I'm sure there's some build with this that is like pretty interesting. I'll put it like in the middle, I think. I guess more at the top end. I guess this is like more in the middle. Next is Ignis Sciensta. It's great in the 99 of a lands deck as a way to trigger a landfall, and is really good graveyard hate. It's expensive graveyard hate, but sometimes if you need it, it'll get the job done. You're gonna go right into the fun in the 99. I think I'll look up here. Next is Omega Heartless Evolution. 7 mana effect is pretty mediocre. You get to tap 3 creatures and gain some life. Also, it's only, oh, it's on basic lands. I thought it was towns for some reason. So, I mean, you could have a lot of non-basics. This is still more fun in the 99, so that's where I'm going to put it. Next up is the Wandering Minstrel. So this is another 5-color commander. There are actually enough towns to make a functional deck with this, and that last ability can easily close out games. This is going to be put in the could be fun tier for me. Actually, I think I'm going to put this in the fun tier. I'm going to put it at the tail end of fun. 5-color land decks don't do it for me, but I like that it's built around towns. So that's a little bit more interesting to me. So yeah, we're going to put that in the fun tier. Next is Noctis, Prince of Lucius. Esper has no shortage of ways to remove or prevent counters from being put on permanents, and there isn't a limit to how many times you can do this aside from your life total. This is going to go could be fun for me. There's probably like Aetherflux Reservoir and like a Mishra's Bauble, for example, is you pretty much go infinite right away because you pay 3 life and it's 0, and with Aetherflux you just storm off. So because it's more combo focused, if you build it as a combo deck, I'm going to put it in that could be fun. Next is Kefka Court Mage. Now, and the backside is Kefka Ruler of Rune. Kefka can provide a ton of card advantage, and it will be a great removal target since players don't like discarding. And flipping them is a huge investment mana-wise, and Grixis doesn't have that much interaction but Grixis does have access to interaction to blank any removal spells. I just don't know if flipping this will be worth it. I'm going to put Kefka, I think, in could be fun. Next up is Choco, Seeker of Paradise. Now, I love birds, and I love this commander. It almost feels like a FIC Nadu Winged Wisdom, and I'm really excited to build this. Easily in the top end of wanna build for me. Next up is Sinspira's Punishment. If this effect weren't random, I think it would be way more powerful, and I'm glad it's not, because it's also powerful and fun, and I think I do want to build this. And then finally, we have Ultima, Origin of Oblivion. It makes a solid Eldrazi commander, and it slots into Legendary Matters or God decks as a land hate piece. I think this could be fun if you want to build a colorless commander. I'm between fun and the 99 and could be fun, but I'll put it in the tail end of fun. And that wraps up my Final Fantasy main set fun ranking. All in all, I like that there are a lot of commanders that I think just fit better in the 99. There are obviously a ton of new commanders that could be fun or are fun or I really want to build. But for a set that had so many legends, it's a pretty good mix, and nothing here feels super pushed aside from like 1 or 2 cards. So I would love to hear your thoughts on my list in the video description, in the comment section down below. and let me know what commanders you're looking forward to building, have built, and how pre-release went. Also, like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz, and I will see you nerds in the next one.